So, sorry. Hi, everybody, whoever's going to watch this. This is the first live stream that I've ever done on YouTube, so it's going to be weird. And I'm also doing it with a cell phone because my camera, well, I think you can only do it with a cell phone, but there we go. It's a little bit better. Hoping to have a new cell phone soon so I can have a better camera. Since this is my camera, this is what I use, and for some reason whenever I record with this now, the files are not readable in any of my editing programs. So I have no idea why. That's why I switched my cell phone. So anyway, if you guys noticed, I've done a couple shorts the last few days. I did one just a little bit ago. I did one while I was out of town, but I picked this up yesterday. Yes, yesterday. I had to think about it. This is a really, really, really cool Gibson Sonix. Now, this says it's a Gibson Sonix Deluxe. I have reason to believe this is either a Gibson Sonix Standard or it's a Deluxe that someone swapped the pickups out of. Because I've had 2-3 other Sonixes besides this one, and out of those 3, one was a custom with the Dirty Fingers, which sounded great. The other 2 were just the ones with the, like, I think they're called Velvet Brick pickups. And this one, I think, is like the in-between model where you get better than Velvet Bricks, but they're not as good as Dirty Fingers. I have no idea what pickups these are. I should have taken the pick guard off when I changed the strings, and I put on a new bridge too because the last bridge was really crappy. It was just old and beat up, and it was like super corroded. Actually, see if I can get my hands on it. No. Did I throw it away? That's definitely not it. I have all my parts like in this drawer next to me. That's not it. This is it. So this is like super, I don't know if you can see, like it's got pitting all over it. It's really corroded and stuff. And you can't really adjust the saddles. So I have this roller bridge that's really nice. It's a Tone Pros roller bridge I got from a friend of mine. It's like really cool because it can lock. Like I actually have it locked in so it won't move. Like I could take the strings off, the bridge won't fall off. So, but yeah, and the neck, you can see, it has a headstock repair, 2 screws. I don't think these are the original tuners. But it's cool, and it was repaired very well compared to, like, whoever got this after me, because this is the second time I've owned this, cleaned it up really well. Looks like they took off the original Schaller tuners that were on here. But yeah, like it's a factory second. I can still kind of see the serial number and the Made in USA. They really did a number on the neck. But I mean, the headstock looks really clean until you like do that. But still, it's not bad for a repaired headstock from the 80s. And I think this was repaired in the 80s because people don't really screw on headstocks anymore. But so running through the 900, and I mean this thing. sounds really good. I really like the way this guitar plays. It plays a lot better now than I did when I first had it. Although I will say it feels weird owning 3 Gibson single cuts and a Gibson Explorer from the 70s. I am drinking coffee because that's what I usually drink, is that and water or like Gatorade or lemonade. I'm trying to get rid of soda. But yeah. I kind of wish like they had different inlays on this, because all of my Gibsons have dot inlays. And I think it's funny because like I don't mind dot inlays, but they're definitely not my favorite. So, what's really interesting is I was actually not gonna get this guitar. I had ordered a Jackson V. And it was a Randy Rhoads V, because my buddy Chris, who's been on the channel, I've talked about him a few times, and we have a video on the channel from the first year I started making videos. The quality is horrible. It's like an hour long, just talking about 80s like music, like 80s hair metal, 80s pop, all that stuff. Because at the time, I was not like privy to the information of 80s music, and he was like my best source of information. But yeah. He is a major Jackson nut, and he has 2 Rhoads V's. One played really, really good. Do a Tool-inspired riff. I can try. I like Tool a lot. I'm nowhere near as good as Adam Jones. I never, ever, ever probably will be. But this is actually... So, this... I don't know if this is Adam Jones-esque, but it's like the bass player of Tool. One, like an exercise I've done is I've always wanted to fit that little like that movement into a song. I don't really know like a way to phrase that. But whenever I think of Tool, turn on the noise gate. Whenever I think of Tool, that's the first thing that comes to my mind, is just that movement. I've always wanted to like bring that like riff style, I guess, into a song, but I can't really find a way to do it. But I used to use it as an exercise. I should do it again because it's been a while. What I would do is time. So I like Solar, like the designs a lot. I don't know if it'd be a guitar company that I would play. I definitely would try one. I like their Telecasters. Um, I think they're really sick. But I'm not a shreddy guy. I'm never gonna be a shreddy guy. I'm not that good. I just play. I'm a punk guy. I mean, that's my name. I've always been into punk music, and I liked the look of solo guitars. I would definitely try one, but I don't know if they'd necessarily be for me. Evertune bridges are something that I think are really weird. I remember I saw Rise Against live in 2015 at Rock on the Range, and the lead singer, I don't remember his name. My mom is obsessed with him, but the lead singer had a Gibson SG, and it had an Evertune bridge. And my thought process was, oh, that looks cool. And then I was like, why do you need an Evertune bridge? It's a fixed bridge guitar. Like, yes, I know it's a Gibson, and Gibsons have, you know, out of tune issues because of the way the headstocks are, but why? Like, just get better tuners and have it set up regularly. That solves the problem because an Evertune is like it's really expensive to put in, so it was really weird, but it was cool. And I mean, he didn't go out of tune, so I guess I can't complain. So Pantera, yeah, I like Pantera. It's funny. I didn't know who Pantera was till 2013, and the band I was in just outside of high school. Like I'm talking, I graduated early, so I had like 2 or 3 months extra of a summer that I spent working and living on a floor at a friend's house. And at the time, we were all a band. Me, him, and then another friend of ours who lived in a different house. He was the drummer, and they're the one like they introduced me to Pantera. Like I said, I cannot play Pantera. I mean, I guess I probably could if I worked hard at it. I love System of a Down. It's funny that I say I don't listen to Pantera a lot. I like what I've heard. I'm not the biggest fan of his guitar tone. I mean, Dimebag Darrell is a marvelous player. There's no hate there. I'm just not the biggest fan of his tone. Used to be when I was starting out and found out who he was. But Zakk Wylde, ironically, his best friend is my biggest inspiration as a player, and I love Zakk Wylde playing and his singing. System of a Down. I haven't listened to them in a long time, but they're really good. Like, it's not that I stopped listening to them because of any conscious reason. I just stopped listening to them. But whenever Chop Suey comes on, "Lonely Day" was like my favorite song when I was like 17. um, I will have to check that out. I've not heard of that. I will have to check that out. But no, I liked I like System. I cannot believe that. I think the album Toxicity. I think that's the album. Is 20 years old this year. That to me is just bonkers. I've never listened to Hatebreed. Wait, no, I listened to Hatebreed once. Actually, that's a lie. I was in. So, as a player, I've always been into punk, grunge, and metal to an extent. Listening, but as a player, I can't do that stuff. I'm not that good. I remember I was in a band that was out in the middle of nowhere. Like it was legit in a barn, and I joined them in a barn, and they're like, "Yeah, we play hardcore music," and I was like, "What the heck is hardcore music? I have no idea what this is." And they give me a bunch of bands. Spite, I really liked, and Hatebreed. I think there was 2 songs I listened to Hatebreed, and they were both really good. I just, again, not something that's like, oh, I made the decision that I'm gonna stop listening to them. It's that other stuff got in the way, and I forgot about them. My favorite band of all time, if I can do this properly, is Gemini Syndrome. They're coming to my state, and I'm gonna go see them in November. Uh, I will listen to that. Down Stone Crow. That's a cool song title. Um, no, I started listening to this band and got obsessed with this band, and I still love this band. I've seen them twice. This will be the 3rd time. Um, but yeah, no, I will check that out. I'm not to say I'm not a metalhead. I like a lot of metal. My best friend is a metalhead. I mean, he has a channel devoted to just Iron Maiden, and that's his favorite band. He's gotten me into other bands like Halloween, Anvil, bunch of stuff. Incubus. I don't listen to them. I never have. I not because of any reason. I've probably heard them. There's a lot of bands that it's like I know this band, but I don't know who they are, and I bet that's one of them. I bet if I listened and looked up an Incubus song, I'd be like, oh yeah, I've heard this song. Silent Sign. I'll check that out too. I'll put that on my. I'll check that out. Right now, I'm the things I'm listening to currently. I actually at my job is I listen to a lot of podcasts or audiobooks. But music wise, I just checked out Sanjutsu by Iron Maiden because my brother is obsessed with them. And I have just listened to most of the new Asking Alexandria album. I am very impressed with them. I think they're doing something really unique. Um, their sound to me, I describe it right now at least as if someone took Metallica and someone took 3 Days Grace and made a band and put Danny Ward Snob as the singer. I'd probably mispronounce his last name. But no, that's what I've been listening to lately. That and just podcasts and audiobooks. I love Mudvayne. I firmly believe Chad Gray is one of the best singers that's ever existed. I don't know if he's like the best. I don't think you can quantify one person as being this is the greatest singer that's ever lived. But he's in my top 10. He is definitely him. Chris Cornell, both are like some of my inspirations for singing. I don't do a lot of singing on this channel, but ACP, I don't know what that is. I'll have to look that up because I have no idea what that is. But I like Mudvayne. I like Chad Gray as singer. I like Hell Yeah. I'm one of those weird people that likes that band. I don't like them as much as Mudvayne. I think I prefer Mudvayne, but there's some good songs on both bands, at least in my opinion. Oh, dude, A Perfect Circle, man. Like I like Tool, but I prefer A Perfect Circle, and I think it's because it's more it's more. This is gonna sound stupid. It's more mainstream, and it's more. I'm not a smart person. I can understand A Perfect Circle. I like Tool, but I have trouble understanding it. It's why I can't play prog. I don't know how to do mathematical equations. That's how I kind of put it. Oh, dude, math rock. It gives me a headache. I love math rock, but it gives me a headache. I had this friend in college, and I feel bad because I don't remember his name. I used to be part of a Smash Bros. Group, video game group in my college, and he got me into them. He showed me what math rock was, and it like blew my mind. I was like, dude, I was like, this sounds great, but I have a headache now. I need to like go lie down. But yeah, no, math rock is cool. Yeah, that's something like I would listen to that, and be like, yeah, this is great, but I could never play it. Time signature changes like that are insane. Like, same reason why like I'll listen to Animals as leaders because it's great music, but like don't ever expect me to like try to learn something like that. I have nowhere near that kind of talent. Okay, so I prefer making my own music. I like learning songs. Like right now, I am learning I'm doing kind of both. I'm writing my own music for this project I'm a part of. We don't have a name yet or anything. We just got a stable drummer who's blew my mind last night at practice. I like to write a lot of songs. I've always been a songwriter. I I guess I should say I've always been like someone who just writes riffs. I used to be able to be really good at just coming up with lyrics, and I can still kind of do it. But I am working on a couple covers right now. But one of them is a band that I recently found called Daddy Issues. The song is called Dog Ears. Daddy Issues is like what I would consider grunge in modern times. It's kind of what I'm trying to go for, but a little more punk oriented, like a mix between grunge and punk. But anyway, they have a really cool song. It's called Dog Ears, and you should check it out if you haven't heard it. They are awesome, and I'm working on like I've got the guitar part down. It's super simple. It's in drop D. It's not hard at all. The whole song is literally. That's the whole song. I mean, besides just interchanges of. But that's it. But like the lyrics, I'm working on learning how to sing it at the same time and play and sing. I'm also trying to do a rock, grunge, whatever kind you want to call it, cover of a Halsey song. I think her name's Halsey. Um, I like the song. I like pop music to an extent, and I think that there's potential there for a great rock cover. And then, with the way I sing, I like to end a lot of songs with extended holds, higher pitch holds. I have a higher pitch voice, So a lot of my singing, I have a higher octave. And I think it's called like, what's this song called? Hold on, let's see if I can find it. I'm right in front of my computer, so. Uh, as the world caves in. Okay, I want to do a rock cover of this and make it like ballady. I don't know, because like both versions of the song, the original Matt version and then the Sarah version is they're both great and I love them both. I want to do my own version. And yes, the song Daddy Issues, I mean the whole their sound for Daddy Issues is very Nirvana oriented, I'd say. I wouldn't say like whoa, that's their whole thing. But that song especially, I mean it's literally I mean the riff is this is the tempo too. How I mean that's really similar to both. I am self-taught, but I have had lessons. Um, I haven't had lessons since high school, so 10 years almost. But no, I'm primarily self-taught. I took lessons when I first started a long back when I was 12. I took lessons from a really nice guy here in town who's actually retired. He had his own little shop and stuff. And yeah, I did that. I got into a car accident because the way he was trying to teach me, which there's nothing wrong with this, he was teaching me with like notes, like reading guitar sheet music. I play tabs. I read tabs. I can play piano. I can play saxophone. I can play a little bit of harmonica. But I grew up in an orchestra setting. I grew up playing piano. I grew up playing saxophone. So I knew how to read sheet music to an extent. And piano is basically the same thing as guitar. Like it's in the same key. So it wasn't hard to transition. But what happened is I actually got into a car accident and I busted up my hand, and so I had to take some time off. And I didn't really like what I was learning. I wasn't enjoying guitar. So what I did is after like I kind of healed up a little bit, it wasn't like broken or anything. It was just like really bruised up and sore. So I couldn't like, and for a beginner, you're learning, just the basics like, oh, hold on. This is a G chord. This is an E minor chord. This is an A chord. D, C. But that's what you're learning, and you learn how to do it in like a song, and it's boring. And what happened to get me into guitar is I got a Nirvana CD, and I love Nirvana. I always will. Um, and I heard In Bloom for the first time. I was like, that I want to do that. So I got a guitar and stuff, which was pink, and it was awesome. Um, I rocked out that pink guitar for a while, but I took lessons, got into the car accident. After I healed up, I really don't want to keep taking lessons with the guy. Not that he was a bad guy, just his teaching style was not interesting to me. I was bored. I wasn't practicing. It sucked. So, it's the early it's like 2009, 2008 at this point. I think it's 2009. YouTube, people are starting to do videos on YouTube of how to play guitar, how to do this. It wasn't like it is now, but there was one dude, I can't remember his name, but he used to do like 5-minute videos and like, this is how you play this riff. So that's all I did. And I learned how to read tabs, and I started learning 3 Days Grace because at the time I was obsessed with 3 Days Grace and Nirvana. So that's all I would play. Um, And then I got lessons again from a different teacher, and violin is amazing music. I've heard it's insanely hard. My brother Justin played it, and he's like, "Yeah, that was the hardest thing I had to do." He doesn't remember how to play it, but it sounds beautiful. But no, I took lessons like junior year of high school. I started in middle school. Started playing guitar, but I took lessons like junior year just to all I wanted voice crack. All I wanted was to improve lead and like how to become a better lead player. I wish I would have asked how to become a better rhythm player. So that's what I try to work on now. But he showed me like some awesome stuff. You know, and yeah. So and after like about 3 months of that, not that there was anything bad. It's just like I was like, okay, I'm done with this. I want to go back to what I was doing. I was in a band. I was working on songs, and I was happy where I was. So I took what he did and like taught me and to improve on that, and I haven't taken a lesson since. Not people who take lessons, nothing wrong with that. It just wasn't my style. I learned just from practicing. I actually go back to the origins of this channel. I had a Gibson Les Paul Studio. I love video games. I'm a huge nerd. I'm a nerd for a lot of stuff. And at the time, I was super into video games, but I sold every single video game console I had to buy a Gibson Les Paul Studio. I think I had kept a Game Boy Advance SP, and then I just practiced. So yeah, no practice. You're right. Practice is the key. I would play. That's all I would do. I'd come home from school and do my homework because I was a good kid. Never did anything bad and wanted good grades. And yeah, I came home, did homework, and then I just play guitar and watch cartoons or watch TV or go for a walk. But I'd play guitar mostly. And I would learn like, oh, I want to learn this song by Nirvana or I want to learn this song by Green Day, and I would just pick up my guitar and look at tabs. I'd listen to music, and this is a trick that I learned to improve my lead playing, but I still use it to this day. Stand in front of a mirror or sit in front of one or your phone or whatever, and watch your. Don't look at yourself. Look at your finger. Where are they on the fretboard? This is a way that it kind of trains yourself to be able to play guitar without your eyes open, because, or at least it did for me. I can't guarantee it'll work for everyone, but because I could memorize that sound where it is with the picture of my hand in my head, and eventually I could just. Oh yeah, that was another thing. I would just put songs on and I'd like just play lead over it. That or like backing tracks. That was a huge thing for me. About 5 years ago, that's all I would do was play backing tracks. Now I've put myself more in a position where I focus currently like I want to learn this song. That's what I'm doing. Or I want to write a guitar composition for this song, so I will listen to a song repeatedly, kind of try to figure out where it is on the fretboard, and then just go from there. Or like at practice last night when we were literally just jamming. I mean, this is something we were doing, where we would take a riff and the bass player, man, he is great. He could come up with some cool stuff. I would either go off of him or he'd go off of me, and then the drummer would do something crazy and wild. So we'd like take like a riff like this. But that was the main riff. But we'd do something where we'd change the time timing and be like, yeah, I will do QAs all the time. I would love doing QAs. But, you know, that would be the main riff, would be... Then maybe it's like a weird swing time change. Where it's like, versus game. So yeah, that's something that I've been doing lately, is like taking riffs and putting them in different time changes. I just recorded a guitar riff that I'm working on writing lyrics for, and I wrote the guitar riff. I have to reteach myself the riff. I'm glad I recorded it and I got it in 2 takes because it was not easy, and it needs adjusting and stuff. But yeah, ask me anything within reason. I'm more than happy to answer. Okay, I mean, like I said. Musically, kind of like where I started out is besides Nirvana, I love blues music and Stevie Ray Vaughan. Um, Before I heard Nirvana, all I listened to when I was a kid was the Beach Boys. I love the Beach Boys. Yes, that is how we usually jam. We've got a couple ideas brewing. We've been testing waters with different people. So we're trying to get that going. But that is how we did it last night. And it was really cool. But yeah. Yeah, basically, we just kind of feel each other out. I mean, that's kind of how it goes with new musicians. I've only jammed with the bass player himself a few times. He's really cool. I've always been the baby in the band. I'm always the young guy. They're older guys, not older. They're older than me. I'm in my 20s. They're in their 30s and 40s. 40s, I guess I should say. But yeah, no, when you're just trying to feel each other out, you just kind of go, and sometimes something magical happens. Other times, stuff just sucks. One of my nicknames, this is not a band that exists anymore, but there was a band called Angels of Chernobyl, and I wish they still were around because I would play with them. And it was an 80s metal band that was like crazy, like awesome music. And the lead player, his name is Sean. He's phenomenal. He hasn't played like in a band in a while. He's raising a kid and stuff, being an adult. And he has a video game modding business. But anyway, their nickname for me was Elderly Man River. I was the youngest member of the band, but it's from an old like Saturday Night Live, I think, and they would call me Elderly Man River. So, yeah. But that was my nickname, just because I was the youngest. So I get that. But I mean, my nickname's been Jack for the longest time. I just kind of keep it that because it's super easy. Oh yeah, yeah. No, Sean can rip, and I mean, he's a shredder. You know, I mean, 80s hair metal. I mean, that was what they played. He can play anything though. And he's the one that like introduced me to like this is a Floyd Rose, and I'm like, oh, those suck because I'm bad at them. That's not the only reason I don't like him. He's really good at with them. I've just never been able to connect with that tremolo system. But anyway, no, he put me through his pace through my paces. There was this one song when I was trying to like speed up, and it was called Raining Jupiter. And I don't know if I can still play it because it's been forever. But it was my exercise to get better. I can't remember it. But yeah, it was crazy. Like, I mean, now to me, if I found the CD because I have their CD somewhere, and I sat down and I listened to it, I bet I could relearn it. But for me at the time, it was insane. Right now, these are stock Gibson pickups in this, and I don't plan on changing them because they sound great. I have Seymour Duncans in one other Gibson, and then in my Schecter. My Schecter has the hot rod set, and the Montana has a Seymour Duncan in the neck. He's got a fat cat, and yeah. But I like Duncans and I like DiMarzios. I've got DiMarzio's in my Explorer, and then my fiance's Epiphone. She has a DiMarzio Tone Zone in her bridge. But these are Gibson stock. I think these are T-tops. I'm so used to a Gibson Les Paul. I was like, oh, switch. Wait, the switch is down. The switch is down here on this guitar. But like, what's it? I wish I could remember like they had songs like Cold Black City, which was. I don't know. I seriously can't remember it. But I mean, the sound was very. This is a riff that I came up with, but this is kind of like the sound of the band. Something like that. That's something that I mean, Angel's never used. And I was the rhythm player, only for a little while near the end, and then the band broke up, mainly because of the singer. His job conflict. It was schedule conflicting. Yeah, I know. I like that riff too, and I'd like to do something with it because they never did anything with it. I don't know what I'll add to it, but that's something that I keep in the back burner, and just to fiddle with every once in a while. But it's a cool riff. I wouldn't necessarily agree with that. It really depends on the people that you're with in the band. You know, and I've been in bands with good people. I've been in bands with really crappy people, and I've been in bands with people that just kind of awkward. It really depends. You really have to jive with someone. I was in this band for a little bit, and it was such a weird like trial period. Because it was literally this is another middle of nowhere band, and I don't know if they still exist. I don't even remember the name, because all I did was jam with the drummer like 5 times. I never met the singer, which was his wife, and she was the bass player too. And it was literally out in the middle of the woods, and it was really hard stuff, and it was not stuff that I normally play. It was okay. I didn't have a problem with it. It's funny, at the time I was literally using a Chipson with EMGs and a 6505 through an acoustic cab, which was weird. And yeah, I didn't jive with the guy at all. Like, when you hang out with them too, like either before or after practice, you can kind of sense like, oh, this person's really sick, or this person's like, I get this, or like I can meld with this person and come up with something cool. It was just like I couldn't talk to them. They didn't feel comfortable talking to me. It was weird. It was a weird dynamic, and I didn't I didn't want to waste my gas money driving an hour there and then an hour back. Yeah, yeah, that's another big thing is drugs. I've never been in a situation where it's a drug problem, thankfully. I've been in situations where it's alcohol related, but I mean, or at least connected to that. The first drummer I was in a band with was amazing. I literally found him on the side of the road. I was walking home from an open mic with one of my friends, and I had an acoustic on my back. And the guy's like, "Hey, do you?" The guy's dad, because it was near a mechanic shop, and the dad worked there. He's like, "Do you guys play rock?" And I was like, "Yeah, I play rock." They're like, "Do you need a drummer?" I'm like, "Yeah, I need a drummer." And so he's like, "Well, my son plays." I'm like, "Cool. Tell him to come to this place. We're this far away." It was like a block away. And so the guy came over like the next day with a snare drum, and because I had a drum kit at the time, and just plopped on his snare versus mine, which was fine. My drum kit was like, it was really crappy, but it worked. And we just rocked out, and it fit perfectly. Unfortunately, after years of work, because I think I worked with him for about two years solidly, we had worked out and recorded a whole album. Unfortunately, alcohol it was his issue. It was alcohol, and it just basically he gave up playing drums, and I don't know what he's doing now. I don't really keep in touch with him. I hope he's okay. I wish he could have, like, if he wouldn't, like, if the band wouldn't have broken up, I think we would have been somewhere, because we could write stuff, and he was really cool, but there was just, it was too much. It was too much. And yes, good drummers and good bass players are really, really rare, especially bass players. I'm very fortunate and lucky to be in a situation now where I have an amazing bass player who I can bounce off ideas, who shares very similar music tastes as me, but more in depth. So he's actually introduced me to stuff. And now a drummer who's really, really good. But yeah, so oh, dude, we were talking about Primus last night. We were talking about Primus, and we were talking about Deftones. I like Primus. I had no idea who Deftones was, and I still need to listen to them. Like, we were jamming out to them at the end of practice, and I was like, man, like, this band's really sick. Deftones. Yeah, but no, I like Primus. They're weird. They're really weird, and it took me a long time to get into Primus, but I like them. I think they're very unique. You can't really put them in a genre of their, like, they're their own thing. Yeah. Um yeah, Les Claypool is a beast. He's in my top like 5 bass players. I think he's actually number 2. Let's grab a different guitar. Because I've been jamming on this. I mean, for good reason. This thing plays really, really good, and it sounds really, really good. I mean, he put a Gibson through a JCM 900, and it's gonna sound great anyway. Thanks, I appreciate it. You're pretty cool too. I've been doing YouTube for going on 10 years. Not this year, but next year, I believe. I'll have to double check. And I'm in a situation now where I feel like I'm finally able to do more, and this is my first live stream. I've wanted to do these for a while. So I appreciate you coming out, watching the live stream, checking out my channel, checking out the videos. You know, this is what I do. I don't get paid for any of this. I put a lot of money into this stuff that I don't necessarily have. Oh, let's play on the Schecter. Oh, I missed that last comment. What did you say? No, that's not what I want. Nice. I want to check that amp out, the Mark 20, because I like Mark 20 a lot. I want to check out his PRS amp. I have checked out the Orange Crush, and Orange is my second favorite amp company, or arguably my first favorite. And I don't know. At the time, maybe it was the cab I was playing through. I did not like the Crush. Yeah, I heard it's a pretty good amp. Isn't it only 15 watts? I guess I should say only. 15 watts is a lot. I mean, I'm playing on the 100-watt combo right now, but I have it set at 50 watts. I hate Mesa, and it's mean. I've had nothing but bad experiences with every Mesa I've owned. I've owned 2 or 3 of them, and they all sucked. I love Marshall. Orange and Marshall are my amps. Nothing against people who like Mesa. I've had bad experiences with them. I like the way they sound. They sound pretty cool, but every one I've owned is a piece of crap. Oh, my Orange Cab has V30s in it. My Marshall Combo has a Celestion G12100. But I mean, I can plug it into the 212. It sounds really punchy. But I didn't feel like doing that tonight. Yeah, it's just nothing against you or any other Mesa owners. I just don't like them. Bad experiences. It's not worth the money to me. I mean, and it was the last one I had was the last straw. And it just messed me up. It took so long to go through because it came in destroyed, and I had to take it to my amp tech and then back and forth. I mean, granted, eventually I didn't have to pay for any. I mean, I think I only paid like $300 for it after everything was said and done, and like the returns I got on it, and I ended up trading it and stuff for parts because it was like my amp tech said I will never work on messes again because this thing is a piece of crap. I'm sick of dealing with them. Yeah, I don't know. That's cool. I will check those out. This is Coffee. That's literally this guitar's name. I name all of my guitars. This is Coffee. This was a gift from my fiance. Um, I have owned 3 Schecter Tempest, including this one, and they're all amazing. This was literally, if I remember correctly, what I was told by the previous owner. It was destroyed on stage. If you can see the neck joint here, you know, like they smashed it, and yeah. But she is a beast. Whoever put it back together did a pretty good job. It still has its like, you know, its scars, which I like that. She paid $50 for this guitar. This is a $500 guitar used like 3 to 4. I mean, granted, yes, it's beaten up, but you could still probably get $200 for this thing. But put some Seymour Duncan hot rod sets, the Jazz and JB coil tap, and it has stickers all over because I love coffee, and white is my favorite guitar. Like look, I like aged white, and I don't know, I like putting stickers on guitars. Sue me, whatever. Don't actually sue me. Death Wish is my favorite brand. I will always support Death Wish someday. If I become a famous musician, I would like to be sponsored by them. Oh, dude. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4 guitars in here with repaired headstocks. Let me scratch that. 3 with repairs, 1 that needs to be repaired. No, this boy is a thick boy though. It's not very heavy. It is all mahogany with maple cap. It's like a Les Paul, but it's like an SG with a Les Paul had a baby and stuff. But it's not that heavy. Grover tuners, and it rocks. It's a very dark sounding guitar compared to my other ones. That's why I like that it's got the coil tap, because like, and I keep this in drop B, if I remember correctly. When I first got this guitar, it had GFS Red Active pickups that are kind of like EMGs. But no, I like it way better. I see. I don't play a lot in drop tuning. That's a lie. I guess I shouldn't say that. I play a lot in standard or C sharp tuning, which is half step down with the drop string, drop another step down. But I still keep this guitar. And drop B if I want to go back to it, just to fiddle around with. But I mean, these pickups are phenomenal. That's why I love the Seymour Duncans. What do you think of G standard tuning? I have played it once and I was terrible at it. And just, I'm not good at that, I guess. I mean, if I worked on it and tried it, I bet I could probably get used to it. But I'm more comfortable with I'm comfortable with drop C standard, drop B to an extent, because I worked with it in a band. But yeah, drop C sharp and drop D slash C, or drop D slash standard is like where I'm most comfortable. It's also where drop C sharp is where I'm most comfortable with singing. I think that's because that's like where my range is. So, yeah, I mean, the standard dude is great. I want to get a guitar just for open tuning. I don't know why. Get like a resonator. But no, this monster of a beast. was only $50, and actually it was only 49 because there's a dollar right here. When I got it all set up and stuff with the pickups, it was $65 to get it all like set up and stuff with the new pickups, and I gave the guy it was $64. I gave him 65. He shoved a dollar in here, so this is my $49 guitar. Oh, what to grab next? Let's grab this, because why not? Oh, this, yeah. Yeah, I do a lot of my own setups, but I need to get some stuff done. This, I don't use low action. I use like a middle action. I have a very heavy picking hand, or not picking hand, fingering hand, whatever you want to call it. And it's from playing a lot of blues growing up. So I really dig in and grab that wood. And yeah, so my action has to be a little bit higher. And I love D'Addario. That's the only. I hate Ernie Ball strings. No offense to anyone who uses Ernie Ball. Just not my thing. But this is one of the first guitars I built. It's a Telecaster. I got a kit for Christmas from my buddy Chris once, and this is the end result. It needs more work. It needs new pickups. It needs new electronics. Man, it's really quiet. I like Warlocks. I had a teal Warlock that was really cool. This was a $60 kit. The kit was $60, and then this neck is this is a American Fender neck, I think. Hold on. No. This is a Mexican Fender neck. So, and I got this off of a guitar, but this neck's probably worth like $250. And yeah, it needs all new electronics. Warmest stuff's really good. My dad, he builds the guitars, a lot more than I do. I just work on guitars. He's building a PRS style right now, and he has a Warmouth neck for it. Yeah, that or the body is. I can't remember. But yeah, this guitar is really cool. Even though it has a lot of issues. This guitar has had 3 separate necks on it too. The original neck, and then it had an Ibanez neck, and now it has this Fender. See, I have an American Standard Strat. In the 90s, it was my grandfather's, and I love it. But Mexi Strats are cool. I had a black top, and that was really, really sick. I want to get a Niceman. I like the shape, and I think it would be really, really cool to have one. I'd like to get one someday. Yes, I know you have a grounding issue now. Shut up. That's why I don't play this guitar that much, because it needs more work. It needs completely new electronics and stuff. My plan is to get some bootstrap pickups and put them in here. But I've got other stuff that's more important in the list of things for repairs and stuff. Like here, I will show you one that I cannot play on right now. So this I got for free. Yeah, when that guitar has like better electronics and stuff, it'll be perfect. But this I got for free. This is I assume, a J Terzer. As you can see, there is no head with the headstock. It broke off, and we don't know where it went. But yeah, it's beat up. And it's very purple, and I love purple. So my plan is take the neck off, and I'm gonna order a new neck. I'm gonna order a Gibson Flying V style neck where it has that pointed headstock, and put it on here. Kind of make this look like an old Gibson Marauder to an extent. Yeah, I mean, it was free. Those necks are gonna be $50. I mean, it needs a bridge and a tailpiece, which hold on. I have a bridge, and I've got tailpieces in there. And it needs an input jack, which I've got. But yeah, I mean, it's a really pretty guitar. Like, it has a flame to it, too. You just can't really see it that well in the light. But yeah, I mean, it was free, so I'm not going to complain. The electronics probably are junk. The switch needs to be replaced, but that's a later thing, and I've probably got one. But yeah, it's a weird guitar, and it'll be even weirder when it's done. But right now, this is my main guitar. This is Driftwood. I've done a lot of videos with him lately, so yeah, like the last 5 videos I've done, maybe not last 5, but the last 3 have been with Driftwood. It might be. I don't know. We'll see. I kind of wanted to name it after the lead singer of Sum 41 because that's where I got the idea from. But it might be Frankenstein. We'll see because it's got a long journey to go. But Driftwood was the last guitar that I've done any major work to. I've completely redone this guitar. It turned out better than I could have ever imagined. For a 400, I paid, well, after getting a return on it, I think I only paid like $450 for a Gibson Studio 2017. It depends on the guitar for me with the pickguard. Stuff like this, I like the pickguard on, but if it was like a Honeyburst, I would take the pickguard off because I think Honeyburst looks really good with uncovered pickups and no pickguard. So. But yeah, no, I mean, that's like not most of my guitars, but that's about half of them. Just jamming. I should stop drinking this coffee. I have to go to bed soon because I have to be at work at 5. I have to be up for work at 5 a.m. It's after 2015 or 16. They were allowed to have rosewood back, so it does have a rosewood fretboard. Well, yeah, it's after. Because that happened at like 2012 or 2013. It's when they started experimenting with like baked maple and stuff. But yeah, and I've had guitars with it, and they play fine. You know, maybe not as good, or like Parfuro and stuff like that. It you don't really notice the difference. Which is fine. Montana has, I think every guitar in here except for my Telecaster has a rosewood fretboard. Yeah. Yeah, I have a maple neck. Yeah, I appreciate it. That yeah, that guitar, that Les Paul it's really pretty. It the amount of like I don't mean to play it up because I didn't put as much time into it as I expected to, but the amount of work I put into it, I'm glad it turned out as good because it could have easily have gone horribly wrong. But yeah. Any other questions about music and stuff? I'll happily answer. I'll stream for a little bit longer and then I'm gonna call it because I have to go to bed soon ish. My cats are going crazy downstairs. Oh, hey, I appreciate it. I'll be up for a little bit. I'll probably go to bed. In depends if I decide to eat dinner or not. Well, thanks. I really appreciate it. I have a couple of videos planned. I haven't done a full video, I don't think, for that Sonics, so I'll probably do one on that. I'm gonna do a video on the Marshall through the 212 because I did a little jam with it, and the original review I did of it over a year ago when I first owned it, I didn't have it through a 212. It was just through the speaker. So I plan on doing a like sound check like through the 212, which is B30 loaded, and then I've got this. I actually have to be careful with this because it's not mine. So I've talked about him a lot on the stream, but my buddy Chris, who runs an Iron Maiden based channel, owns this. This is on loan, I guess. He keeps it here for storage. But I plan on doing a review. I have his full permission, thankfully. He was super cool about it, so I'm gonna do a full review of this little monster that I want from him, but don't have the money to buy it, and he doesn't want to sell it. But yeah. Oh. That's stuff that's coming down the pipeline. Yeah, no, he's jam when we've jammed on it. It sounds great. Um, but yeah, He's got a JCM 2000, and then he also has a. He loves Line 6, which no, I'm not gonna cast any hate. That's his prerogative. I'm not necessarily a fan. But you know that he's got a Line 6 Spider as his backup, but he's got that for travel, and it sounds great. I have my 900 for travel, so which it's heavy 1x12 combo, but it sounds killer. Line 6 is for high school. Yeah, I mean, I've never liked them. I've owned one. I had a Line 6 combo this last year. I bought at a garage sale. It was a Line 6 combo Spider 3 or Spider 2, 30 watt, 1x12, and a Epiphone Les Paul Junior. And I bought it for $75 and I turned it around and flipped it for 200 for both. So that's what I thought about that. But it was kind of fun to play on. Like it made me feel like I was in high school again because like I'd have it on the insane setting and like I'd play like Green Day and stuff. So it was fun. It was a fun thing to do. I think everyone should get one once to own for like like a week and just mess with. Because it puts it in perspective of like how your gear changes and stuff. Um, I have a PV Butcher from the 80s, which is essentially a Marshall JCM 800. I've got a Marshall JCM 900. I have a V30 loaded Orange 212. I and I have never ever thought that I'd be able to own all of that stuff. I'm not trying to boast about what it is. But it's I'm not trying to boast that I own this. It's stuff. I've never thought I'd be able to. It's a dream to be able to say like, yeah, I own a Marshall GCM, and I own this, and I own a '79 Gibson Explorer, and I own 3 Gibson single cuts. Like I never thought I'd be able to say that. It's the first time I've been able to. I own a Ibanez TS9. It's just crazy. I want to get an Igloo Charlie. I think those sound really cool. And just mess with it. I have a crate amp that's a 1x15 combo, and it's a keyboard amp that you can use for PA or guitar or bass, and it's fun to like put pedals through that. And I wouldn't mind getting an Angry Charlie and putting it through its bases on that thing. Um, but no, it's cool to like look at the gear I have now and go back because I have some pictures. My very first performance with guitar and with other musicians was my 16th birthday. Holy crap, that was 11 years ago. Over 11 years ago now. And well, no, I want to build a pedal collection. I'd love to get an octave pedal. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Um, my first performance, I had my Gibson Les Paul Studio that I busted my butt to buy that thing, and I had a Samick acoustic. That was a cool guitar, and I took this 1x10 crate combo, and that was it for my first performance. And I mean, it was mic'd up through a PA, so it didn't. I mean, it matters, but it didn't matter. It was a solid state combo, and yeah. I mean, the first song we did was the national anthem. For some reason, I played it. The owners of the venue, it was this giant festival, and the owners of the venue were super cool because I had just commented like, oh, like someday I hope to like play venues and stuff. Like this is on my birthday. It would be amazing if I could do it. Not asking them to, but they were like, hey, if you want to be the opening act, since it's your birthday and stuff, like you're more than welcome to do it. I was like, oh, killer. And me and our drummer quit like the day before, so it's just me and the other guitar player, who's my buddy Justin. I wish he still played guitar. But we started off. I played the national anthem for some reason, and then we played like a blues jam, and then a couple punk songs, and then we pulled up the acoustic. My favorite movie of all time is Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and we used to play songs off their soundtrack, and we played Garbage Truck, and it was really really fun. It was a cool first performance. All of my friends said they'd come. Not a one showed up. My family was there, my dad and my grandparents and stuff. Unfortunately, the day before was my great grandmother's funeral. So, or no, the day of was my great grandma's funeral. That's right. So they would like have to leave to go, go to the funeral, which that was fine. They were super cool with me performing because it's my dream to perform. Um, but yeah, no, I agree. The best feeling is being up on stage. 2013, I performed with my old band at the same venue. Unfortunately, that venue is no longer around. I really wish they were. It was a great music scene. It was the first time I ever got paid for a performance. And I think we got paid like $50, which was cool. Like we bought a lot of pizza, and it was just a neat little thing, and it was fun. We opened for a lot of acts that a lot of bands that are still around. Like Hail Your Highness is a big band from the state I'm from, which is Michigan, and they were super cool to us. Then there's like Forever at Last we opened for. Um, and it was really cool to like meet them. They were super cool. But yeah, I played at a bar and like 2015. That was the last time I like really performed live. And no, no, not Ann Arbor. Um, but yeah, 2015 was the last time I performed. Yeah, no, I live in Michigan. I'm from Michigan, so I'm from a small town that you've never heard of. So that's what I'll say. Like that's the closest I'll get to saying where I'm really from. You can hit me up on like TikTok and stuff, and I'll message you there. I went to Harpo's. I've not played there, but I've been there, and I saw the Misfits perform there, and that was the coolest show I've ever been. I almost died that night. It was a crazy events. The biggest show I ever played was my high school talent show. No, maybe not. I don't know. It was either that or like my dad's retirement ceremony from the military. I don't know. I can't remember. But I played at Max Bar out in Lansing before that place shut down. That was the last performance I did. I was in a band for like 1 week for like a month called Dino G that doesn't exist anymore. And yeah, and I got paid $5 and I sold $100 worth of tickets. Oh, that's cool that you got to open for Lamb of God. Um, they're on tour with Megadeth right now. I mean, that's all that matters is that you get to like perform and have a good time. So, but I'm gonna call it. I might do more live streams in the future. And yes, I hate selling tickets too. That was not fun. But I sold all of my tickets. Well, at least the one time I had to do it. But anyway, guys, Jack Punkington signing out. Peace.